Sensational day, great people. Hope all is super great and getting better. Let's talk about what's going on in the sports world. And when I say sports world, I mean nothing on the court or on the field of play. We're talking about Skip Bayless and Richard Sherman. Those had a little awkward, I would say, back and forth with each other just recently. But if you go back to previous years, we saw him have that same thing when I think Richard Sherman was still playing. You know, one spoke on, hey, look, I got a high GPA than you, right? So that gives me the credibility to be able to talk about this. Not only do I have a high GPA than you, I'm also a guy that's talking from experience. I played the game. You have never played the game. So I felt in that whole exchange, and Richard Sherman said what he said, Skip Bayless said what he said, and for whatever reason, I don't even care. But I thought they would never get to, some type of common ground to be able to sit back on one of these shows because we already know how you feel about each other. You already gave that. And it's hard to go back on those words. So when I saw him set them down and they became a part of this new thing once Shannon Sharpe walked away from the show and all the stuff that we heard about Shannon Sharpe, I was like, how long is this going to last before we right back to the back and forth that they had years ago? And we're here now. For whatever reason, I think I'm going to give some kudos to Skip Bayless. I think Skip Bayless did a great job of trying to change the narrative and, himself as far as his exchanges with Shannon Sharpe. I think he was working hard. I don't feel like he was yelling but my perspective and another person's perspective is totally different. So Richard Sherman is right for what he think he, perceived. So he went to his extent to say almost the same thing. Stop yelling, stop. It was just an awkward exchange again. But I say all this. So do we just pair these two together just because it's good for TV and we know it's going to be, profitable when it comes to ratings, or we just want them to argue back and forth on the television? I think what my guy name is, Keyshawn Johnson, did a great job of staying out of this because I saw and heard Skip Bayless was like, help me, Keyshawn, help me, Keyshawn. And Keyshawn was like, nah, I ain't getting into this. So just like to know you guys' thoughts. Who you like to pair, man? Do you think Stephen A., Shannon Sharpe are doing better just because the ratings are doing better, or is the show better because those two have good chemistry and things of that nature? And the whole Skip Bayless, Keyshawn Johnson, Richard Sherman, and even the guest appearances that they had with Lil Wayne and Bubba Dub, trash. Y'all tell me, what are your thoughts on that? Is it just because these guys are, huge personalities and they have a following that we are reaching out to them and bring them on? What do y'all think about them pairing those guys in the exchange that, Skip Bayless and Richard Sherman had previously and the current one? Let me know your thoughts.